Today is the first part in a series that I like to call Rode versus the Rest. And basically, I'm going to be reviewing Rode products and kind of educating on good alternatives or even better alternatives. Hey guys, Mike here from Envy Creative, and like I said at the beginning, I'm going to start a new series on the YouTube channel called Rode versus the Rest. And basically, I'm going to be talking about different Rode microphone products and comparing them to some better products that are pretty much similar and also in the same price range. Does this mean that I don't like Rode products? No, that's not the case. I do like Rode products, but because their marketing is so strong and their name is so well recognized, I feel like a lot of people don't know about other products that are usually better than Rode in both maybe price but also quality. So I just wanted to make some videos about products that we've used or that we use compared to some of the Rode products that we've bought. Now, if you don't know already, Rode Microphones is a very well-known and big company in the world of microphones and audio. One of the reasons why they're most well-known is because they have some great marketing, great branding, and because they definitely know how to pitch their products to filmmakers. They pitch them as very easy to use, as well as affordable with lots of features. One thing that I do love about Rode versus maybe some of the other companies is that they do roll out software and firmware updates on a pretty regular basis that improves their product. So with that out of the way, today we're going to be comparing the Rode Wireless Go 2 versus some competition. The Rode Wireless Go 2 is probably one of their most popular wireless mics that they've ever created, and that's because you get one receiver and two transmitters so that you can be recording two people at the same time. Now, when they came out with this, it wasn't a brand new concept to have one receiver and two transmitters, but there were only a couple other competitors at the time, and those competitors weren't really as well known as Rode. But since then, there actually have been a lot more competitors that have come out, but the Rode Wireless Go 2 continues to be one of their top-selling products. So a couple of the other features about the Rode Wireless Go 2 is they're all very compact. Both the receiver and the two transmitters are all the same size, and the two transmitters actually have built-in microphones that are pretty decent, as well as 3.5mm jacks where you can plug in wired lav mics as well. And the battery time on all of them is also pretty decent. Now, in this series, when I'm going to be comparing Rode versus the Rest, I'm going to be comparing it in a few different categories, which include some of the features that it has, the audio quality in general, as well as the price point. Now, the Rode Wireless Go 2 is competitively priced for what it does, but it's definitely not the cheapest one out there, and it's not the most expensive one. So the ones I'm comparing it to are pretty much in the range of the Rode Wireless Go 2. So first, let's talk about the features of the Rode Wireless Go 2, as well as some of the competitors. So in this video, I'm actually going to be comparing the Rode Wireless Go 2 to the Comica BoomX-U QUA. So first, let's start with features. Now, on the Rode Wireless Go 2, again, you have one receiver and two transmitters, which is great because then you only need one receiver on your camera and you can record two sources of audio at the same time with the wireless transmitters. So the receiver does have a little LCD screen that shows you the levels of both of the microphones as well as the battery power of the receiver as well as the two transmitters. And it also has a USB Type-C for charging and a headphone out port so that you can monitor your audio. It also has a couple other buttons, which is for linking as well as doing mono and stereo, and also muting and changing the decibel level. Other than that, it just has a power on button, but it does actually have this clip which also can attach to a cold shoe. On the transmitters themselves, they also do have a clip that can also attach to a cold shoe, as well as a built-in microphone that's pretty decent, and a 3.5mm jack for plugging in a lav mic. Now, here at Envy, we rarely use the built-in microphones for anything other than YouTube videos, as you can see from the mic that I'm wearing right now. We always use our lav mics that we plug into the transmitters on our wireless mic packs. But I am going to be comparing the audio both on the built-in microphones on the transmitters, as well as when you have a lav mic plugged in. So now onto the Comica mic with the features. One of the cool features on the Comica mic is that it can actually record up to 4 channels instead of 2. So you have one receiver and you have 4 transmitters. That means you can record up to 4 channels of audio with just one receiver, and you have 4 transmitters for that. With that, you do have these little antennas. You can fold them back down, but I think the reason the Comica has the little antennas is because it's receiving so much information from those 4 channels of audio. It just needs a little bit of help with the antennas. And because you get those 4 channels of audio, you can see that it's quite a bit bigger than the Rode receiver, but the receiver on here, it does come with a cold shoe mount so that you can still mount it to the camera. Now, unless you're really going for minimalist and run and gun, we don't really mind the size of the Comica versus the Rode, but again, they really don't even weigh that much different, and it really just comes down to size. So the Comica receiver also does have a USB-C charging port as well, and the other cool thing is it does actually have a headphone port, but it has 2 output ports as well, so you can plug a 3.5mm jack into either one of these and actually record to an external recorder, as well as monitoring from headphones, all in one receiver. When it comes to the transmitter on the Comica mic, this is what it looks like. It does have a little clip that's also compatible with cold shoes, and it also does have a little antenna that you can stick out. We've never really needed to use the antenna on it, but it's there in case maybe you're very far away from the receiver. It also does have a built-in microphone, and as well as a 3.5mm jack like the Rode, so you can plug in a lav mic. Now, one of the cool features about the Rode mics is that there's a lot of software behind it, so you can actually plug these into your computer and use the Rode software to modify a lot of things about how to do onboard recording, what quality you want that onboard recording to be, firmware updates as well. And you can also do things like a limiter where it will actually record so that it doesn't hit peaks in case people are talking very loud. On the Comica, there are some menu systems on here that allow you to do different mixes. So for instance, if you want to record both the A and B channel and the C and D, so all 4 channels on just one, you can set that, and then you can also separate them by 2 and 2. Because this is technically a stereo output, you can't do 4 channels, so even though it can record 4 different audio sources, it can still only record onto 2 channels. So each channel will have 2 audio sources on it if you're using all 4. There are also some other things you can do, like changing the volume as well. It does have a pretty intuitive just up and down menu system on the Comica. And then on the transmitter, really the only thing you can do is either mute it with this button, or you can use the other button to increase the audio a little bit if you're not getting a good signal. Now, the Rode is actually priced a little bit more than the Comica, but like I said, the Comica actually does give you a little bit more features on the hardware side, allowing you to record up to 4 channels at once, whereas the Rode gives you a little more features on the software side. So now that you know all the features, let's actually listen to these and see them in the field to see how the audio is and how it compares and how it performs. All right, so we have both the transmitters hooked up to our C200, and we're going to be using that for our testing. Basically, to make sure that we have the highest quality audio with the testing, we just have them both hooked up to the XLR ports, and so we're going to be testing it that way. One thing that I did notice on the back of the Comica is you see that you have the A and B and C and D. So these are 2 channels here, 2 channels here. And then in the headphone slot, you can listen to all 4 channels at once. But what I actually noticed is that if you have it plugged in to the headphone jack, then it does sound like it's a little bit lower quality audio. We'll let you guys decide. But here is a sample of what it sounds like plugged into the headphone jack.
I think that she's really gonna like this, honestly.
I really hope so, because it's chocolate inside of it.
For testing purposes, for the rest of the video, we are gonna have it plugged into the AV slot on the Comica. So first we're gonna be testing out the built-in mics on both the Comica and the Rode to see which one has better quality.
Well, it didn't work.
She didn't like it.
I woke up this morning and this is all that was next to me. Well, it didn't work.
She didn't like it.
I woke up this morning and this is all that was next to me.
The Comica built-in mics on the transmitters might be a little bit better than the Rode. Okay, so here we have the Rode lav mic. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to use each of the mics that the companies make, and we're going to test out which mics are better. So this is the Comica mic. It does have a anti-snag clip here, so when it clips in, you just push it in, and then it doesn't pull out without needing to do that.
So for this Best Friends Day, I went and got you the Silver Trophy Second Best Friends Award.
Oh.
So for this Best Friends Day, I went and got you the Silver Trophy Second Best Friends Award.
Oh.
So as you can hear, between both of them, if you're going to be getting a lav mic from the maker of the wireless mic system, if you use the included wired lav mic from Comica that comes in the pack, it actually does sound better than the Rode. Okay, so for a control, we're gonna be using our Sennheiser lav mics. These are really expensive, really high quality mics, but we're gonna plug them into each of the transmitters so that we can get a really, really clean signal from the 3.5 millimeter mic jack as clean as we can. So this will be for that test.
We always did like holidays together. We would go on like really cool trips together and visit other family. She was just a really sweet lady. We always did like holidays together. We would go on like really cool trips together and visit other family. She was just a really sweet lady.
So as you can see from the performance, they both perform pretty much identical. So one of the things to note when comparing these two is Rode does have a little bit of a more simplistic approach when it comes to it because you only have 2 channels. With the Comica, you do have the 4 channels that you're working with on just the 2 tracks. So we actually did try to do a test where we tried to split each channel into their own. So we try to do 2 channels on A and B and then 2 channels on C and D, but it actually all went together. We did try to split it up both on the device and in our editing, but we just couldn't get all the channels. That we just ended up just getting 2 channels out of it, like I explained.
You and Lisa painted your house, right?
Of course, yes, white.
Yeah.
I've always been wanting to stick with just white.
I feel like it's eggshell white.
Yeah.
Oh, fellas, what's
Oh,
up?
hey.
I heard you're talking about painting.
Oh
That's
yeah,
weird. We need to
easily.
get
Yeah,
these
we're
walls checked
just
if you guys
talking.
are here in our talks.
Yeah, we actually just saw the painting on your house. Looks like you guys need a new fresh coat.
I was saying more of like a white color.
Yeah, yeah, or like
just
an eggshell, something like that.
See, if I had to choose a color white, I would probably go with Swiss coffee.
Swiss coffee.
Ah.
They always have such fun names for that.
Okay, so now we're doing the range test. Most of it we're gonna do line of sight, and that means that Derek is going to walk backwards so that we can still see both of the transmitters, so the receivers can see both of the transmitters. So he's gonna walk backwards most of the way. From here to all the way back there, it's about 100 yards, so we're gonna see how long each of these last.
Dinotopia, The World Beneath, written and illustrated by James Gurney. He and his son Will have been shipwrecked there in 1862. What he found there and what he was yet to find came to be known as the Denison Expedition. As the first bloom of light, well-wishers encouraged Will Denison, the human, saying, "Remember, Will, you're not on a Skybox. You are in charge of flying." Will pushed forward on the control handles. Dinotopia, The World Beneath, written and illustrated by James Gurney. He and his son Will have been shipwrecked there in 1862. What he found there and what he was yet to
Even though the Comica has the antennas on it, it does seem like maybe the internal antennas on the Rode are a little bit more powerful.
first was encouraged.
We're actually surprised because even though the Rode doesn't have any antennas, it actually performed better in a wireless range test than the Comica. So for the last test, both of these should be able to work with iPhones or mobile phones to be able to record wireless audio. So what we're gonna try is we're gonna try both of these on my iPhone 13 Pro Max. I do have the lightning adapter that you do need for something like this. We're only gonna try one microphone instead of multiple because we'll pretty much still get the same results, but I do just wanna try the connectivity to see which one works better and which one's easier.
Testing out the Comica mic with the built-in iPhone camera app. Nothing fancy, just the basics. Testing out the Rode wireless mic with the regular iPhone camera app.
Before I keep going, we do put a lot of work into all the videos we make to try to educate and to try to give you our honest feedback with our real world tests. So if you're enjoying the video, feel free to like it. And if you have any questions, always feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to see more videos that we do, you can always subscribe to the channel. We also post on our Instagram every day with behind the scenes of what we do here at the studio. And we actually started a new YouTube channel with just behind the scenes clips of us at the studio, which is called Envy Creative BTS. So feel free to head over there if you want to see behind the scenes and keep it on YouTube. So now for a filmmaker, both of these are pretty good options. One, again, is more focused on more channels with less software, and one is focused on less Rest channels, but with more software. The Rode actually does perform a little bit better than the Comica, but again, the Comica does have the 4-channel transmitters, so if that's important to you, then the Comica might be the right way to go. Thanks so much, guys, for watching, and again, if you have any questions about anything that I said in the video or anything else, always feel free to leave a comment, and we'll catch you on the next one.